Welcome back for another episode of the Chamber Podcast. My name is Rob Johnson. We have another great show for you today. Joining me in studio is Jessica Pomerville. She is a speech-language pathologist for Thrive Therapy Center and is also their clinical director here in Brighton. Jessica, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
First time doing a podcast?
Yeah.
All right. All right, very good.
Yeah.
We'll go easy on you today.
Okay, thank you.
So if you had to summarize, an elevator pitch or a mission statement of what Thrive seeks to do, how would you word that?
Yeah, so we're here to support families and their children in building their communication skills and their kind of like activities of daily living integration into with speech and occupational therapy. And we provide, evidence-based and really strong family support through helping their kids grow and achieve the goals that we help them work on.
And how long have you been a part of Thrive?
3 years now. Yeah, it's actually my 3-year anniversary this month.
Oh, congratulations.
Thank you.
So walk me through what drew you to working at Thrive and why you've been there as long as you have been.
Yeah, so it's a family-owned and operated business. It was founded by a brother and sister who, wanted to provide not only a great work environment for therapists, but an environment where families could go and trust in the therapists that they have to help their children, in something that's a little bit vulnerable, not something that, everybody in their day-to-day life understands. The family element really drew me to working for them, working with them, because it trickles into what we're able to provide to the community. So starting with them being a family, and then they create a family environment for their employees, which then trickles into the care that's, reflected that we provide as therapists. And they're just really supportive and, yeah.
What led you to this career? So when you were, high school to college, what made you say, all right, speech pathology is where I'm going?
Yeah, I've always loved kids. I grew up with family members with special needs, and I kind of thought, I thought originally I wanted to be a special education teacher, and I took a special education class in college, and I realized for me, the big classroom environment was never for me. And then when I discovered speech-language pathology, I was drawn to the fact that it's, run on a more one-on-one basis. I think we take for granted communication in general. So, and then all of the areas that are within the speech pathologist scope of practice are all things that you don't really think about. Like we think, oh, PT, it helps me if I, can't walk or, I don't know. But with speech, it's not something that everybody thinks about. Being able to express yourself, being able to, like swallowing is in our scope of practice, whether you can, enjoy a meal that you love or, being able to articulate yourself if you have a stutter, things like that. So I think I was drawn to the ability that I would have to help people like I've always wanted to, especially a more vulnerable population. And then the goals that we help them on are important to me, just overall communication in general.
Who does Thrive serve from a client perspective? What's the ideal type of client or patient that comes into Thrive?
Yeah, so me personally as a speech pathologist, I primarily work with kids, but we help everybody across the entire lifespan. So we have, babies who are working on feeding. We have, toddlers who are working on developing their expressive language. Adults with special needs working on pragmatic communication skills. Adults maybe who have suffered a stroke and have aphasia, or somebody who's suffered from a traumatic brain injury. And then we're helping them work on their speech and language communication skills, or occupational therapy, which is anything from sensory integration, helping them build their activities of daily living. And like for a child, that could be learning how to tie their shoes, zip their coat, build their attention span and focus in school. So really the whole lifespan, and anything that falls under the realm of communication, and then occupational therapy as well.
When did the expansion into Brighton take place? When was that office officially opened?
January 5th. So we're pretty new, but it's going really well.
Good. And why was Brighton selected? Why was that the next logical expansion? Because you guys have Davison, and is there one more?
Yeah, in Clarkston.
Davison, Clarkston, and then, Brighton. So why Brighton?
So I think it really appealed to Marissa and Derek, our owners, like what they were able to do in the city that they grew up in. So they grew up in Davison, and that's where the first location opened 40 years ago. And then they expanded to Clarkston and then Brighton. For me, I think we knew that I wanted to be a part of and take on this clinical director role, at our newest location. And it just made sense. Like I grew up here. This is my hometown. I went to Spencer, Scranton, Brighton High School. And so I think that was our mission, is to bring, what we brought to their hometown to my hometown.
So what's the first 30 days been like being in the, clinical director seat in Brighton? How's that been?
It's been really unique. I mean, I went to school to be a speech therapist. So obviously that's where my professional skills lie, but I'm taking on a lot of new tasks, whether that's helping with marketing, answering the phones, helping with insurance, working with the contractors who are, building our new space. It's been really fun. It's been a really good growing and learning opportunity for me. And I'm really blessed because my speech therapist that works with me, Savannah, she's my new right-hand man. And it's been really fun. I'm grateful.
Sounds like a lot of hats.
Yeah, it is. But it keeps things interesting, and every day is different. And like I said, I'm just really grateful for the opportunity.
That's great. So over the last 3 years that you've been practicing at Thrive, is there any one particular story that sticks out to you that's been, just really rewarding? I'm sure there's a lot of that in that particular line of work, but is there anything that sticks out in particular?
I would say this is more of a broad story, but for me, I didn't realize how much you bond with the families. So like, for example, I was in Davison for 3 years, and some of those clients that I worked with them for 3 years. So I became really close with the child, but also their family, their parents, their siblings, their grandparents. And so it was harder for me than I thought it would be to transition out of that clinic and into this new role, just because of how impacted I was by, you become a part of their family in a really like intimate way. So, I'm like getting emotional about it, but there's, so not one specific kid in general, but like really that was really moving to me, how much of an impact I played on those families' lives and those kids.
No, that's great. And it's good to get emotional. That shows you care, and you're so invested in seeing the success of that child. It's a rare thing, and that's why I think Thrive has expanded as it has, because of that reputation and kind of that family first mentality that you guys have.
Yeah, exactly. Thank you.
Of course. All right. So in Brighton, what does capacity look like? Let me ask you this. What would the next 90 days look like if everything went great?
If everything went great, we would continue to reach more and more families who are looking for the support that we can provide. And, we would just continue to grow the clinic and be able to be a good support system and just make our name and our mission known, because we really are a safe space. Like you said, very family oriented. It starts with the family who opened the business and then the families that we can help. So we just want to help as many people as possible. And that would look like growth within the 90 days, more and more families coming to see us.
I love that. And the last question, Jessica, is so if someone wants to reach out to Thrive, what's the best way for them to get involved in the practice here in Brighton? Yeah,
so we have a variety of ways that they can reach me. I would say the most direct way is to call our Brighton clinic. They could reach out through our website. They could DM me on Instagram. But I would say to call our office. I could give you the phone number.
We can put it in the show notes.
Okay,
If someone's driving, they're not.
Yeah, right.
I think that'll be good. So anything else you want the listeners to know before we wrap up today?
No, I mean, I want people to know that if they're looking for a safe space that they need in their lives to help support their children, that's what we're here to do. And we want to provide that, the family first, like you said, is our mission, and they play a crucial role in the care of their child. And that's something that we really take seriously. And we're just here to help and be in my hometown community.
Great. Well, thank you so much, Jessica. I appreciate it.
Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. All right, everybody, that's going to wrap up this week's edition of the Chamber Podcast. We certainly appreciate you watching. If you want to learn more about Thrive, be sure to check out the show notes for their website and social media. Apart from that, we'll catch you next week with a new episode. Take care.